Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Sports Talk in the Burgh. I'm Sam Anthony. This is the first show of the new 2017 year, so let's make it special. Alongside me is Rashad Christian and the glorious return of the one and only Ian Kist.
Pleasure to have you back,
What's
Ian.
up, Yinzer Nation? Jake Gomes, this is for you in Bedford, New Hampshire.
All right, so let's get right to it, shall we? The Steelers edged out the Kansas City Chiefs in a prime-time Sunday night matchup to go to the AFC Championship game. Guys, who really made the difference in this game to get the Steelers the victory?
You're going to have to look at that offense, and the second best player there, Le'Veon Bell. 30 carries.
I'm going to stop you there now.
Already?
I disagree with you
Can I say some stuff first?
I'm going to let you finish.
Okay. He finished 170 yards, which is 30 less than what Ben had throwing in the air. And not to mention, Ben didn't have a touchdown. I know you're going to say that.
Didn't have a touchdown.
Ben wasn't responsible for a touchdown either, but Le'Veon Bell is the best running back in the league. Right now, he proved that
so he should put up those numbers. But why didn't he get in the end zone?
Does it make it less impressive? Does it make it less impressive when he puts up 170 yards?
It does when he has 30 carries. I don't care if it's 170 yards. At the end of that game, he got stuck.
He was their workhorse, and he provided for them.
But you know what they needed at the end of the game? I mean, granted, they won, but if he had gotten one more first down, if he had gotten 2 more first downs, that would have been this would have been over. They would have never gotten that second score. But you know who made the difference at the end of that game was the defense with those stops. Because you know what? The two guys that you had to keep an eye on were Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Yeah. They held Travis Kelce to 77 yards. They held Tyreek Hill to 27 yards receiving and 18 yards rushing. A guy that explosive who was tearing up the NFL, might I add. He was doing everything, returning, receiving, rushing, and the Steelers stopped him. He did nothing. He fumbled the ball in the end zone. The Steelers were flustered him so hard.
I think Ian has to say some stuff.
You'll rip this apart. But Chris Boswell, simply, if he misses one field goal, Steelers lose.
Le'Veon Bell.
You can argue again.
Or maybe if we had scored a touchdown, the Steelers
Yeah, but
wouldn't
that's not
lose.
Boswell's fault.
You're right, but why give him credit for that?
Bell got
It's not like
in
he
the
was
position
hitting
to
50
make field
yarders
goals.
every time.
But if he doesn't
made
hit a field goal, we
50-yard
lose.
field goals, I would have credited him with that win. But you know what? You should hit the 30-yarders. You should hit the 40-yarders. You're a postseason kicker.
Okay.
That doesn't make you special.
But, all right. So, did Antonio Brown's post-game locker room Facebook Live video go too far, or is everyone overreacting?
You know what? I do think it's a little overreacting because
definitely.
it's typical Antonio Brown. I mean, he Facebook Lives everything.
He works out and you go on Facebook Live.
You know what Antonio Brown's doing every day of his
kids
life.
are dancing in their house, he'll Facebook Live it.
But you know what? That's the appropriate time to do it. You know what this was? This is a distraction. It's going to be a distraction all week for the Steelers, perhaps the biggest game of the season. I mean, I know, Super Bowl's coming up, but the Patriots may be the toughest opponent the Steelers will face in the playoffs.
It's only a distraction if you let it be a distraction. You can possibly set this aside for after the Pats game and just focus on that crucial game to get to the Super Bowl.
Every time they go into a press conference, that nobody's going to ask them. Nobody's going to ask them about what happened.
Avoid the
with
question.
Antonio
I mean,
Brown.
coach,
It's
it's not like coaches haven't done
that before. It's still a
before.
distraction. It's still there. It's not going away.
It's
still there.
I think everybody on that organization just sees us say no comment.
Yeah,
when they ask about it,
you can control whenever.
The media is going to bring it up, especially. I mean, ESPN.
But you know what? They wouldn't have to bring it up if he just didn't do it.
Exactly.
And you know what? You don't do that in the locker room. That's why there's an NFL policy. That's why he's going to get fined.
And my biggest thing is he wasn't paying attention to Coach Tomlin talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At that time, he needed to listen to his.
And what does that show to the younger players? It shows them that you don't have to listen to Coach Tomlin. You know,
like R.D. Burns right now. He's the rookie, one of the rookies. He's like, well, if AB's not.
Yeah, and what does that teach about the culture
professional,
for a team?
why do I have to be professional?
That's not a winning culture that does that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They can deal with this after the Pats game. That's the only thing they have to look forward to right now because that's their trip to the Super Bowl right there.
Yeah.
Now, moving on, the Colonials have been playing great on the ice all year long, but what are the chances that their stellar performances get them into the Frozen Four?
Rashad, I'm going to be very blunt with this.
Yeah.
10% chance. They
10%.
have very little chance. And you know the big reason with that is who's behind the pipes in net. And that's Jessica Dodds, who in her entire postseason career, which by the way, she's made the postseason every year so far, but she's never recorded a win. Last year, she let up 4 goals against Lindenwood in the first game, got pulled halfway through, did not play for the rest of the postseason, which was 3 more games, might I add you. They put in a sophomore, Lauren Bailey, because they had more faith in her.
I'm thinking Lauren's going to be who's going to honestly get the start in the playoffs, and when the season
why not?
starts,
When you have 2
I honestly
good goalies.
think Dodds becomes the backup.
Bailey's okay. She's no Jessica Dodds. Jessica Dodds puts up the better numbers. With Bailey, it's almost 3 goals allowed per game, which cool. You know, we score 3.5 goals per game, but it's close, it's tight, and in postseason, and especially you watched that last game against Lindenwood when the scoring's not there. The Colonials have nothing. Like, the Colonials don't shut out teams. That just doesn't happen. So they need the scoring to happen all the time. And if they can't rely on their defense, but they're also, the other thing is they're the second most penalized team in hockey. So there's a lot of power play chances. There's a lot of times where the goalie really has to step up, especially for a team that's so penalized like Robert Morris. And they're never going to win if they have those problems.
I mean, I think that, like, with this team, this is by far the best team we've seen in a very long time from the Colonials. And I think they are capable of going head-to-head with these teams, whether or not the defense is there. I mean, they can outshoot the opponent.
They can outshoot the people in their conference because it's a weak conference.
You don't think they can go up against the teams like Wisconsin? And
I think Wisconsin would kill them. Wisconsin averages 3-point victory margin every game.
But CHA is one of the weakest in the NCAA.
I would argue it is the weakest. And so with that, so what? We're dominating the weakest conference in college hockey.
I mean, but that should say something, though. Like, we're supposed to do it, and we're doing it. We're doing it in very impressive fashion. And
but
I think that should go a long way towards giving them a nod.
I think it should be expected of a team of that caliber. It shouldn't be anything that blows you away. If you're blowing away teams in the Big Ten, then yes, I would give you that. But that's just not how it is. But we're going to talk more specifically about Brittany Howard, who is now officially your all-time leader in assists for the Robert Morris Colonials. Coming up on several other records, is she the greatest to ever lace up her skates for RMU?
I'm saying yeah. And, like, in the conference right now, she is definitely the best player to ever play for Robert Morris. Right now, her stats are just incredible. Like you mentioned, she is the all-time RMU assist leader. 34 points right now. 21 of those are assists. She has 2 game-winning goals. She's doing it all for the best team in this conference. And that says a lot about her character. Like, she's literally doing everything on the ice, and it's great.
And you also have to understand the value that she has to that team.
Yeah.
If she's out, you're losing a lot of scoring, and not just because of her ability to put it in.
You don't even need to know her stats. If you just watch number 3 play,
it's her impact on the game.
Even if you're off the ice with her, like I've sat down with her on Colonial Sports Center, interviews with post game, that like she's the life of that team. And when she wasn't, injured early in her career here at RMU, that hurt. And they had some players that could really have like Rebecca Vint when she was a senior. They could have used, a Brittany Howard. But, she wasn't there. But now, look, Brittany's back, and she's, tearing it up. And I think she's the life of that team. So you don't even need stats to call her the best player in Robert Morris history.
Now, question. Do you think she's the best player in the entire NCAA?
No, not even close.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to
players on Minnesota that I looked at, like Kelly Panic, who leads her by 11 assists and 10 points.
Well, and players like Panic would come to the CHA and double Howard's numbers. Like, it's something that you can't even compare,
Yeah.
And on that note, we are going to take a quick break, but don't go away. As an announcement regarding the football team here at RMU, has everyone talking in excitement while the Penguins may be reaching for the panic button, and all that coming up next with Sports Talk.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
To Maddie, Congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow. I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money going to come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to Sports Talk in the Burgh, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we may look at the men's hockey record and see a top 10 team, but the higher-ups don't see it that way. So I ask you guys this. Why aren't the men getting the same respect as our women's team?
Rashad, it's easy. I mean, you look at the teams we've lost to,
Yeah.
and let me list some off for you. And Ian agrees with me here. He's ready for me. Canisius, all right, an 8, 10, and 5 record where we tied them and lost to them. We did not get a win against this Canisius team. Ian wants to talk about Bentley. Ian, tell him about Bentley.
Oh, we always struggle against Bentley. It's always the first game of a series.
And you want to
Even
know
last
Bentley's
year's
record?
playoffs. And yeah,
Bentley's record is 6-11-5, and we lost
teams
to them.
that we should win.
So, okay.
You beat Ohio State and lose to Bentley.
Right.
That's
I
not a
wasn't
top
here-
20 team.
I
That's not a
wasn't
top
here
10
last
team.
school year, so this men's team was losing to like bad teams before this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
Bentley
that's
always gives them a little bit of trouble. Yeah.
This
Just
is
to clear that up.
just how. I mean, and that's why you won't put
This is how
RMU.
the men's team
but
operates.
also, look at their conference, and
Right.
this is always going to be a problem for a Robert Morris team.
Yeah.
Is there's 11 total teams in Atlantic hockey. 3 of them have a winning record, and that includes Robert Morris.
Right.
So, you know what? So what? You're beating these teams. These are teams that you should beat if you're a top 20 team, if you're a team that deserves to make the NCAA tournament. And you know what? Their stats are not overwhelming with a weak schedule. If you're playing these weak teams, you should be scoring a lot, and you shouldn't be allowing a lot of goals. But they're 18th in offense in the country and 16th in defense. You know what? Granted, those stats are top 20. They're top 20 against weak opponents. I expect a lot more from this team that if you want to call them a top 20 team, that's what they have to do. They have to put up bigger numbers.
I think, like, going back to what you said about them beating teams that they're supposed to, I think, yeah, they're supposed to beat their teams, but the fact that they're doing that should at least warrant them some recognition, don't you think?
I mean, I'm not going to warrant them any recognition. And a team that you might want to rethink, too, is now the Pittsburgh Penguins, who have now lost 3 of their last 4 games, including 1 blowout and 1 15-goal palooza at the hands of the Metropolitan Division-leading Washington Capitals. So where should the Pens be on the panic meter after this stretch of games?
Is this on a scale of 1 to 10? Because
That's
I'm
what I
gonna
did.
I'm gonna put that at least a 6 right now.
Oh, okay.
They have allowed an average in that 3-game losing streak. They allowed an average of 5 goals while only averaging 2. They're getting outshot in every game they play. Not to mention those 3 games were away games, and if you look at their away record this year, they're I believe 8, 9, and 3. They can't get it done on the road, and that's going to go a long way towards making a Stanley Cup run. If you want to go somewhere in the playoffs, you're going to have to learn to win in all environments.
Also, can we talk about the fact that they let up 7 goals last night?
Like, I mean, yeah, they
It
scored
was a
8,
win, but it wasn't a pretty win.
Oh, not
it
at
wasn't
all.
a good
You
win.
shouldn't
I
have.
don't-
They should have to score 8 goals to win the game.
No, you should never have to score 8 goals to win a game. And they, you know, you can sit there.
Honestly, that to me that shouldn't even be that big of a confidence booster for them.
And I want you to look
look
at
at the defense and the
the
goaltending.
Metropolitan
Oh, yeah,
Division right here, because they're sitting with 57 points, or now they're at 59 points, which are barely ahead of the New York Rangers. They drop 1, 2 games, they're a wild card spot. That's not a spot you want to be. I mean, they're at a comfortable spot. They're probably going to be a playoff team.
Oh, definitely.
definitely.
But they're not going to catch up to the Capitals
Right now,
or
they
the
just,
Blue Jackets
right
like
now
that.
they just need to relax, get things together, work out the kinks, deal with the injuries, and just play.
They need a real
Penguins
goalie,
hockey that
because
they
currently Murray's not looking good.
No.
Fleury's a guy that can't be consistent. You know, everyone was
you
talking
go
at the
to?
beginning of the year how great problem that the
Yeah.
Penguins would have is the fact that they have multiple goalies, but I don't really think you have a consistent goalie. And you know what? Pens fans can get mad at me if they want, but that's just how I believe the Pittsburgh Penguins are right now.
All right, so now will the new face bring back another NEC championship to Moon Township, and that new face being San Diego State transfer quarterback Jimmy Walker?
Do we still have the same coaching staff?
You know what we have,
Then
though?
no.
You know what we have, Rashad?
I think
we're
it-
gonna
it's-
let me.
it's-
You want to
me?
go?
I want to
All
go
right.
Before
because
Sam brings his numbers in here.
before Sam the number Anthony. But I think the same coaching staff isn't gonna make this quarterback any better or change the system in any way, because they're gonna make this quarterback try to buy into our failing system that hasn't worked for years. And I mean, Banaszak just got his extension. He's still leading that team, and he's going to lead that
His
team
one-year
into
extension,
another.
might I add. It's not like he's there for 5 more years.
I mean, but you're getting a transfer quarterback from San Diego State, which is a fairly reputable football school. He sees what we're doing here in 1 year. Who's to say he doesn't leave the next year?
Because he's not going to be good enough to leave in 1 year. But I want you to look at I want you to look at the players that we're getting back, not the numbers, because our offensive line last year was all freshmen and sophomores and 1 junior. This year we're gonna have 3 juniors. You got Ann Bureau, Mike Lamb, Justin Boyette, and then you have a redshirt senior in Blake Chambliss. You have guys who are experienced, who can play, who are going to be able to protect him.
And
Not only that,
the
you
coaches
have
are still
receivers.
there.
You have receivers in Jameson Williams,
I'm gonna get in here real
Timmy
quick.
Vecchio.
The one thing that his numbers are phenomenal, but that's when he was at a junior college.
Right.
But that's the thing though, is he's at a Division I school with talent around him.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of young talent last year. You have a second-year offensive coordinator, Mike Miller, who's very good, might I add. You give him the weapons like they have and the protection, that offense is going to be incredible.
As long as Banny's there, I don't think anybody can succeed at the quarterback position. That's all I'm going to say about that.
But I want to talk about now a team that hasn't been successful this year, and that's the Robert Morris men's basketball team. They've now fallen to 6-13 on the season, currently sitting at 7th in the NEC. So what can Andy Toole do to fix his broken team?
You know, Sam, it's hard covering them when they keep losing all of these games, and it's in very, very disappointing fashion. Not even just like blowouts. They're in these close games late
Like
in the
Wagner.
second half, but they can't finish anything. We saw the game against Youngstown State earlier in the year. We saw the game
McConnell
against
airballs
Wagner.
the final.
Matty McConnell airball. The game against Wagner. Isaiah still missed a shot. I think Matty McConnell got the rebound, missed his shot too.
Yep.
So they're not being clutch right now. They're not playing good basketball. They just lost by 20 the other night, and it's just sad to watch right now. I think their season's done.
Yeah, because you know what? So they average 61.2 points per game. Where that ranks them out of the 351 teams in the NCAA, 6th worst.
It's horrible.
There are 5 teams that score less than Robert Morris. 5.
They have
That's
no
horrible.
Inconsistency with this team, too.
I don't even think there was any consistency to begin with. I mean,
No,
they've
there
won
hasn't
6
been.
games.
Just with the scoring, one player goes out, scores 22, scores 7 the next game. Can't happen.
You know what? We're playing Central Connecticut State on Thursday.
If they lose
who
that
lost,
game,
We're
Central
done.
Connecticut
If
State
we
has lost
lose,
12 in a
season's
row.
done.
Oh, yeah.
I think they win. I picked Central Connecticut in that game. I'm sorry for everyone that's going to be watching that game on ESPNU because you're going to watch Robert Morris lose to the worst team in the NCAA.
Yeah, they're 2-15
the worst
right
team.
now. Like I said, even if this game is remotely close, if Robert Morris doesn't blow them out by at least 20, this is a huge disappointment. It'll be shown in that game. I mean, Toole has said several times that he's trying to talk to his players and get them to help themselves.
They don't hustle.
They're
They
not
don't want it
listening.
enough.
They don't
Yeah.
hustle. They're not doing anything right now, and it's horrible. Now, continuing on with Toole, that is no.
That is all we have for this segment. Next, after the break, the seat will be getting hot for one RMU coach. We'll take a look at one of the greatest NCAA championship games of all time and our predictions of who will be heading to the Super Bowl. Coming up
Steelers.
next on Sports Talk in the Burgh.
I like that.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know. Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Talk in the Burgh. Now, it's been a fairly disappointing season for both the men's and women's basketball teams thus far. But which coach, Charlie Biscaglia or Andy Toole, are on the hotter seat?
I want to start.
Yeah, I'll let you start.
Just
Go
gotta
ahead.
jump in, buddy.
Go ahead.
Neither of them, because if John Banaszak wasn't on the hot seat,
Okay, that's a little unfair. I think he was on a fairly
His
hot
seat's
seat.
still hot.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
His seat is burning up right now.
I mean, he was given the contract. But if I had to pick one, it would be Andy Toole, because Coach B's in his first year as a head coach.
That's
so
true.
you can't. Yes, he's been here for 13 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, Andy Toole just can't get that motivation year after year. Struggle. Even the year they went to the NCAA tournament. Not the best. Not a team many people expected to
to be
get
fair,
there.
they ran into Duke. Duke.
No.
Well, they also got within 10 of Duke. Can we talk about that?
I mean, they lost by
Not many
29,
people
but still,
expected.
I mean,
But they competed till the
Not
end.
many. They did compete, but not many people expected them to get there. There's a lot of struggles that season.
yeah, and that's when we had Rodney Pryor. Right now, Toole
And,
has to show the
and
fact
Lucky
that
Jones.
he has to
And
show that
Marquise
he's
Reed.
able to work with the pieces that he has, and right now he's not doing that. I mean, right now the women are still in contention for the NEC. Right now,
Yeah.
the men are just sitting, I believe, in the 7th spot.
I mean, but the women are sitting in 5th. It's not like they're doing that much better. Plus,
Yeah, at least
we
they're
have
hovering
Coach
around 500,
Charlie
though.
Biscaglia, who is clearly the most inconsistent head coach in college sports right now, because there's games where they win 83-42, and then there's
then
that
lose
game against St. Francis
the other
where they were
way.
down 42-18 at the half. And you know what? They didn't even interview anyone else for his position. They just gave it to him because he's daddy's kid. He is unproven.
Daddy's little
He does
boy.
not deserve the job, and I think he needs to win to prove that it's not his dad who's the head coach.
So
It's
how
him
long?
that's the head coach.
So if he has the same type of season next season, is he done?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
I agree with that.
They have to compete and they have to win. So, but we're going to move on to college football now.
Football.
Clemson walked away as college football national champs after winning on a last-second touchdown against the undefeated Alabama Crimson Tide. Was this the greatest national championship of all time?
No.
No, for me, I have it second. First, I have Texas and USC, where Texas won. Vince
Thank you,
Young
friend.
versus
Thank
Reggie
you.
Bush. To me, that will always go down. But this is a close second. This, honestly, I teeter-totter on this one.
So I think this is the greatest national championship of all time. I think it is.
Right.
You have to look at the team that Alabama was and how much better they were than everybody else. They were tremendous. They were way better than everybody else. And then Clemson comes in last second, beats them on a last second touchdown.
I think,
it
okay.
doesn't
that
get better
that was
than
easy.
I mean, I really do love the
Easy
USC
touchdown.
versus Texas game with Reggie Bush and Vince
Old-fashioned
Young
college
battling it
football.
out. I love that game. I ranked this second because of the rematch factor. Last year, the two teams switched rankings. Alabama was number 2, Clemson number 1. And last year, it was an absolute shootout with the score of 41-38. Now,
So 35-31 is not a shootout. is what
I'm
you're
not. I
telling
was.
me.
You let me finish. I was gonna say that.
Calm down, Sam. Calm
Last
down.
year, Alabama scored 24 in the fourth quarter. This year, Clemson scored 21. I mean, it's just they were going back and forth for the past 2 years, and it's great to see. Not to mention, they both ended with the same record both years.
So
in
couldn't
a
you
row.
argue that makes it better, the rematch factor? That it doesn't bring it
The
down?
only reason I say that is because you saw 2 future NFL stars battling it out in a college national championship, and both of them would go on to go into the NFL the next year.
So you're telling me
And
that
it's-
nobody on that Alabama defense is a future NFL star? That nobody on that Deshaun Watson, the
Yeah, but
number
at the
one
time-
overall
at the
quarterback,
time,
is
who
not
did-
projected to go to the NFL?
Who do you
Rashad?
know more than Vince Young and Reggie Bush at that time?
That's fine, but who do you know more than Deshaun Watson at this time? Maybe Lamar Jackson?
Okay, yeah,
But
it's
he's
Deshaun
still-
Watson, though.
Yeah, but who's the
I'm
number
not
one
giving it-
quarterback going into the draft? Deshaun Watson.
I'm not mad at that.
So the
Sam.
NFL's conference championship games are set for this coming Sunday. Guys, who's kicking off in Houston on February the 5th? Starting with the NFC championship game against
Atlanta?
Atlanta.
I'm picking the Atlanta
And the
Falcons,
Packers.
and you know why? Matt Ryan. That's all you need. And not only that, but they can run the ball too. That offense is going to be firing at all cylinders. And you know what? I know you got Aaron Rodgers. You have arguably what could be one of the greatest quarterbacks of
The
all time.
clutchest quarterback of all time.
Who is having a better season? And you know what? They're going to be
Not by much, though. I
You're
mean,
not-
by a few hundred yards, maybe.
still
Aaron
has
Rodgers
season.
still has more touchdowns. You saw
But
what
he has
he
nothing
did
else
against
around him.
Dallas.
He doesn't have a run game.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
He
If
got
you're
it
talking
done
about
against.
who's going to score more points? It's going to be Atlanta because they can do both.
Falcons aren't going to be able to stop Aaron Rodgers in any way at all.
And that's fine because they still put up 35 points on one of the best defenses in football, Seattle.
I still have faith in the Green Bay defense, though. I mean, they showed last game against the Cowboys that they could.
You mean the 31 points they let up? That's great.
Yeah.
The defense was really good.
Okay,
I mean, totally.
I want to bug in now. So, I picked Green Bay, but their defense against Dallas was
weak.
Weak, and at the end of the game, Ezekiel Elliott, I know they're not facing Zeke this time at Prescott, but they got run down.
By a rookie quarterback.
And they're up 28-13, and they won 34-31. So I'm thinking Matty Ice can really bully these defense around. I picked Green Bay because I think it's a shootout. I think Green Bay's going to have it, but I think the Falcons, I like your pick. I respect your pick. I just
so Ian
teeter-tottered again on this one. Pick Green
Atlanta's
Bay.
offense is so good. I bet you they will not even punt in this game. There will not be a single punt from Atlanta.
Okay, I don't think there'll be a single punt from the Packers. This is going to be a good old-fashioned shootout. I think the score is going to end up like 45-42 or something like that. We may even see 50 points.
All right.
I think Aaron Rodgers is on enough of a roll right now, tossing 20-plus touchdowns and only one pick in his past, I believe, 7 games or something like that. And so far, they've been undefeated in that stretch. Aaron Rodgers.
Did they play Atlanta in that stretch? They did.
Are you going to sit here and tell me that Atlanta is going to stop Aaron Rodgers?
I'm telling you, Atlanta's going to stop Aaron Rodgers more than Green Bay is going to stop Matt
Ryan.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm upset about
but
what
yes,
you just
let's
said.
talk the AFC.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is a game I'm excited about. Steelers, Patriots. The Patriots have always had the Steelers number. This is the time the Steelers come out on top because you know what? The Patriots have yet to see the full combination of Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown all together, and they're not going to be able to stop them.
I mean, honestly, if this is going to be a competition of quarterbacks, like the 4 quarterbacks in these final games are incredible.
But let's agree they're all great. Like, if
They're-
you take
no, they're
those out of
definitely
the
all
game,
great.
what are the pieces that
But
New England
Pat's-
has that are going to give them the win?
Tom Brady's the greatest out of all of them.
But you take away Tom Brady, what does the Patriots have anywhere
You take
else?
away all the quarterbacks.
Yeah,
and
so
they
you take
have
away
what?
all the quarterbacks. What puts the Patriots ahead of the Steelers?
He has a good point there.
That's a
Because
good,
you know what the Patriots
okay,
have?
but
They have a run defense, is what people are trying to say. But they played the easiest schedule of opposing offenses this season. They didn't play good offenses. They
Listen.
played the Steelers with Landry Jones.
Are the
Landry
Patriots
Jones almost beat him.
Are the Patriots going to go into this game against the Steelers without Tom Brady?
No.
So then we don't need any
Yes,
situations
we do,
for a
because
hypothetical.
you can argue that Ben Roethlisberger can counter Tom Brady. He can have the same production in that
Tom
game.
Brady
Did you
and
see Tom
Ben
Brady
are
in
gonna
that
go
game
toe-to-toe?
against Houston?
Who's Tom Brady's best
he
wide
looked
receiver?
bad. He didn't play well.
It doesn't
Who
matter.
does he go to?
It doesn't matter.
He goes to Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola, undersized, Martellus
he's-
Bennett, who is no Rob Gronkowski, might I add you.
He is the quarterback that knows how to use his pieces effectively. That's why they went 14-2 this year. That's why Tom Brady is top 5 greatest quarterbacks of all time, possibly the best.
17-14
Predict your
Steelers,
final
I'm taking.
scores. Yep.
Final scores for the past Steelers? Let's go 28-21.
35-30.
17-14 if you didn't hear me.
All right. But now we're going to go to the lightning round to finish the show. I know Ian's really excited. I know he missed this part.
Lightning.
So we're starting off with question number 1. The UConn women's basketball team broke the record last week for the longest winning streak in women's college basketball history. Now, is this a big deal?
There
This is
are
expected
no
from them?
surprises in that
expected. It's
statement
bad.
whatsoever.
It's bad for college basketball.
All right. And Andy Reid and Travis Kelce both believe there was no holding on the 2-point conversion that
I don't know what they're saying,
that
but,
cost them the game.
That's just them trying to save face, honestly. I mean, they blew
That's
that game
Kelce.
themselves.
So you don't believe that holding call was false at all?
They shot
Kelce
themselves in the
embarrassed
foot with
himself,
that.
and now he's trying to get back. He lost his cool, and I think he's trying to find any way to make them look better than
I
they
mean,
were.
right? Him saying that there was no holding isn't going to change anything. They
No.
lost. The Steelers are now in the AFC Championship.
I mean, that's really hard. I need the head referee to tell me why that couldn't have been not holding.
And even then, what are they going to do about it? Play
Yeah,
the game
you
again?
Can't do anything.
Like,
Play
come
that down
on. They
again.
play that one down again.
2-point
I mean,
conversion
come on
redo.
now.
And last question, Jose Quintana. Rumors that he might go to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Do you believe that's a good move for the Pirates, or are they going to give away too much?
That's the thing that they're going to have to give away a little bit, but Nova and Cool aren't going to be what this team needs. Pitching suffered last year. I think it's a good mindset. Just got to make the right deal for it.
Whatever pieces they can get their hands on, honestly, are going to be a
Even
win
if they're
in
giving
any
away,
scenario.
an Austin Meadows.
Yeah, I mean,
Are they going to be a playoff team this year, the Pittsburgh Pirates?
I don't know.
That pressure. Teeter-tottering again. Yes. Wild card.
I'd love that.
Yes.
I'd love that.
He says yes. What's
Wild
your
card
response?
game.
They're really on the fence for me right now. I'm going to say They do sneak in at the very last playoff spot, but honestly, I mean,
I think it's going to be based on what other teams do in the division.
All right.
Yeah.
On that note, we're going to wrap up the show. Thank you all for tuning in to Sports Talk in the Burgh, and we'll see you all next week live.
Yinzer
for more
Nation.
Sports Talk in the Burgh.
Oh, new semester, guys.